Continuing in part 2 of our series on the history of Polish tank development. We move on to heavy tank and tank destroyer projects, including some remarkably ambitious designs created by generations of talented engineers. Heavy tank, a proposed heavy tank project, it was envisioned as a follow-on development of Habicha's medium tank. The hull was to feature 100 mm of sloped armor and a more powerful 90 mm WZ.39 40 meters gun. However, no prototype was ever built. 53TP Markowski was an ambitious heavy tank proposal planned for development in 1940. It was to be armed with a 105 mm Bofors WZ-34M main gun, feature 110 mm of sloped frontal armor, and reach a top speed of 40 km per hour. However, the project was halted at the drawing stage due to technological limitations and the outbreak of World War II. 50TP prototype was a heavy tank sketch developed by Cadet Tadeusz Tyszkiewicz at the Warsaw Military University of Technology in the early 1950s. It was envisioned with a powerful 122 mm gun, average mobility, and strong protection featuring turret front armor up to 210 mm. Its impressive gun elevation and depression were meant to exploit uneven terrain for effective hull-down fire, making it suitable for frontline combat. The projected maximum weight was 50 tons. It existed only on paper, surviving as drawings. 56TP was developed in the 1950s. Using a scaling approach, Polish engineers took a medium tank chassis as a baseline and adapted it to a heavier weight class. They drew on many T5 for design elements, meaning some components would have resembled early versions of that Soviet medium tank. The result was an interesting, relatively low-profile design. However, a heavy tank of this kind demanded resources beyond the capacity of Poland's industry, so it existed only on paper as drawings. 246 Pancernik project. Designed as a traditional assault vehicle, it was intended to be highly mobile while balancing strong survivability with heavy frontal and side armor. It was to mount a very powerful 155 mm gun. Instead of a conventional single-tracked running gear, the designers chose a dual-track system, with both track loops powered. This layout offered several advantages, but was far more difficult to manufacture. The two loops could operate in different modes separately, in drive, free wheel, or together, and the mirrored symmetry allowed extremely fast reversal of driving direction. The technology was far too advanced for Poland's industry, so the project was cancelled at the drawing stage. 60TP Lewandowski was a heavy tank project developed in 1956 by Richard Lewandowski, an officer trainee at the Warsaw Military University of Technology. The vehicle was projected to weigh 60 tons, feature armor up to 200 mm thick, and mount a long-barreled 152 mm J2 gun. Development was halted at the initial sketch stage. Tank destroyer. The anti-tank gun project, codenamed SDP-40, Zadymka, was designed to defeat armor up to 100 mm thick and to support a potential medium tank. Its 75 mm caliber was large enough to serve as an assault self-propelled gun. The engineers drew on British experience in producing hulls using large cast sections. Because the ammunition would not fit inside the fighting compartment, the solution was to add a stowage recess that partially extended over the engine bay. Development was halted at the preliminary layout stage. In the pre-war period, Poland's tank industry developed along two main paths. The first, partly influenced by the British school, relied on distinctive, original engineering solutions. The second followed French practice, which was natural, since Poland was purchasing French tanks at the time. After World War II began, many Polish design engineers emigrated to Britain and continued their work there. One of their projects was the SDP-44 Burza anti-tank vehicle, featuring typical Royal Assault tank characteristics and proposing several advanced technical solutions. However, the project was soon cancelled in favor of the A-39 assault tank Tortoise. After World War II, the Polish army fielded a large number of Soviet self-propelled guns. Licensed production of the T-34 and later the T-54 began in the 1950s, and an independent armored vehicle design base was established. A new tank destroyer project, SDP-57 Gowika, was proposed to replace the aging Soviet Su-100 and ISU-122. The program was considered successful, but the prototype was left unfinished as work shifted to another, more promising design. In 1957, Poland began developing advanced tanks and self-propelled anti-tank vehicles. One such project was SDP-58, Kilan ***, featuring a gas turbine engine. Its gun system and power pack were based on advanced technology supplied by the Soviet Union. To boost firepower, engineers explored deep-rifled gun technology developed in the USSR and provided to Poland for testing. The project existed only on paper, but it became a foundation for later Polish tank destroyer designs. SDP-WZ-66 Grom was an anti-tank gun project from the late 1950s to the early 1960s. It was designed with thick, sharply sloped armor in a Soviet-style layout, intended to withstand fire from contemporary and, even later NATO tanks, while a gas turbine engine would improve mobility. Several main armament options were considered, and a powerful 100-160 seconds of a millimeter rifled gun was selected. Some ideas proved impractical due to the technological limits of the time, and the entire concept remained only on paper as drawings. In 1960, a Polish project for a heavy tank destroyer, SDP-60 Gonkiewicz, emerged. This thickly armored vehicle was expected to remain highly maneuverable. To achieve that, it was planned to use a small but powerful engine based on an early version of the GTD-1 gas turbine, with an estimated output of 1,000 horsepower. The Soviet Union provided the engine documentation and also shared technical materials on deep-rifled gun technology, so Polish specialists could develop their own gun family based on it. Overall, the project was considered successful, but the vehicle was never built due to excessive cost. The NC-70 Błyskawica anti-tank gun project was developed primarily to engage armored vehicles, but also as a means to destroy fortified positions and to suppress and eliminate enemy artillery and infantry. It was planned to use a new gun system designed to deliver high muzzle velocity. The weapon was rigidly fixed inside the casemate without a recoil absorption system, reducing complexity and cost. The power pack was to consist of 2 gas turbine engines. The project existed only as technical drawings.